started it. Okay, so whenever you're talking about physiology of an organism, you are talking about its functional aspect. Okay, so if you're talking about plant physiology, it is that branch of botany which deals with the study of life activities of plant. So if you're talking about functional aspect in any organism, then you're talking about then you're talking about physiology. Physiology is a branch of bio that deals in functional aspect of the organism. So in the case of in the case of botany, where we are studying about plants, and if we are talking about functional aspects of plant, then you are talking about a plant physiology. You're dealing it under the branch of plant physiology. Okay. Now water, it is absorbed by the roots of the plant from the soil, and then it moves upward from to the different parts. Basic चीजें इस part में कुछ बहुत high science नहीं है. Water absorbed होता है roots के through, everyone knows it. And food is synthesized by the leaves by the process of photosynthesis. Majority cases में leaves के में ही synthesis होता है. In some special cases stem, green stem वगैरह में भी हो सकता है. Okay, and they are synthesized by the leaves, and they that food is also have to move to different parts of the plant, also to the roots. So bacha, in rooted plants, the transport in xylem, that is the transport of water and minerals, it is essentially unidirectional. Unidirectional, that is the movement of water and minerals will be in the upward direction. Yes, from the roots to the stem or to the upper part of the plant. So it is essentially unidirectional. Okay, but if I talk about the food transport, it can be said multi-directional. Or multi-directional nahi to kai books mein only bi-directional is written. Of course, in NCERT too, it is mentioned as bi-directional. That is from the leaves to the upper part of the plant as well as to the lower part of the plant. So from the leaves, the food, it has to reach all the parts of the plant, including the lower one as well as the upper one. So it is bi-directional. So the transport through xylem is unidirectional, while the transport through phloem, it is bi-directional. So this was the basic idea. The introductory part, इसमें जो भी पढ़ा है वो आपको already पता है, right? Now let us take a brief idea about xylem tissue first. And then we will take a brief idea about phloem tissue just to revise. Yes, we are doing circulation in plants. We have started with the circulatory system and we are talking about plants first, the circulation or the transport in plants, and then we will study about the circulatory system in animals. Yes, we are going to excretion also, but only after the circulatory part. Okay. So xylem, it is the water and mineral conducting tissue. And as you only told me that it is a complex type of tissue, complex permanent tissue. What is the difference between the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue? There are two types of the tissues in the plant. They are classified under two categories, the meristematic and the permanent. Yes, the meristematic tissue, they have the property to divide and divide. They have only one function, to divide, cell division. But when the meristematic tissue, they become specialized to perform a particular function, they become permanent. Yes. So xylem and phloem, these are the complex tissue because they have more than one type of cells and they are complex permanent tissue. because they have specialized to perform a particular function. So xylem and phloem. Xylem is also a complex permanent tissue, and it is going to have 4 types of cells. The very first one is trachete and the other is vessel. The two main cells that are present in the xylem. Trachetes, vessel, and then xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. Okay. So trachetes and vessel. Trachetes की अगर आप बात करोगे, as you can see in the diagram as well, these are longer elongated dead cell. These are elongated dead cell and they have large cavities. So lumen जो होगा, it will be large and the walls are very thick and they are thick. They get very thick because of deposition of a compound known as lignin. So these are elongated dead cell with large cavity. The lumen, it is going to be very large. Lumen is the central hollow space in the trachetes. And the walls are very thick because of deposition of lignin. And they have pits present in them, as you can see in this image. They have pitted walls. Can anyone tell me what are the pits? You can see here the pitted walls. So what are pits? Pores are present. Yes, hole-like structures are present. Pores or perforations are present for the conduction of water and minerals from one trachete cell to the other trachete cell. Yes, to allow the water movement or the mineral movement. Okay, so pits are present in the trachetes. So I'm going to discuss that in a bit. Just wait. Okay, clear हो जाएगा. Now vessels. Vessels क्या होते हैं बच्चा? These are elongated dead cells, but much more wider than the trachetes. Elongated dead cell, but wider than trachetes, as you can see in the image as well. And they have perforations at the end walls. Again, pores like structures are present. And every vessel member, they are connected end to end with each other and they form a pipe-like structure so as to form a continuous channel that allows the water movement. So each cell of the vessel element of the vessel is known as vessel member or the vessel element. Okay, and all these vessel cells, they connected with each other end to end and perform a pipe-like channel to allow the water movement. Now, what is the difference between pits and pores? Can anyone tell me? Difference between pits and pores. Bacha, give me 2 minutes, huh? Just give me 2 minutes. There's an important call coming. Just wait 2 minutes. Yes. So what is the difference between pits and pores? Yes, the main difference lies in the histology. Okay, histology is when you study about a particular tissue. So अगर आप उसका structure देखोगे तो structure of pits and pores are different, although the function is same. Bacha, vessels have more larger cavities, much larger than the tracheids. Tracheids are narrow, elongated cells, but wider. But vessels are much more wider than the tracheids. Okay. So pits and pores के बीच में जो difference है बच्चा, it lies in its structure, but the function will remain same. Both of them are present to allow the free movement of water and minerals throughout the cells. Okay. So tracheids and vessels, these are main cells that are present in the xylem. Other than these two, there is xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma that is present. So xylem parenchyma is simple parenchymatous tissue. So it will have parenchymatous cell that are going to perform the function of storage of food, and they will be living. And xylem sclerenchyma, as you must know, that sclerenchyma is a type of dead tissue. Okay, so it is all the cells, they are going to be dead, and the main function of the sclerenchymatous tissue is to provide strength to the plant. Okay, so as you can see in the image, the xylem parenchyma, it is present here. The vessels are present, and the vessel is much more wider than the tracheid element, and the fibers, they are present in between all these cells. So mainly function parenchyma का क्या है? To store food, and xylem chyma sclerenchyma का function है to provide strength. So main function water conduction का कौन perform कर रहा है in the case of xylem? It is tracheid and vessels. Parenchymatous cells are the cells that are present in the parenchymatous tissue. The cells that are present in parenchyma are known as parenchymatous cells. So in the case of xylem bachcha, if we talk about all those 4 types of cell, the 3, that is tracheids, vessels, and the xylem sclerenchyma, these all cells are dead. Only xylem parenchyma is the one that is living. Okay. So mainly dead है, उनका function है सिर्फ water conduction provide करना. Because बच्चा evolution अगर आप plants का पढ़ोगे तो earlier plants में vessel elements present नहीं थे, क्योंकि जो earlier plants थे they were very small, तो उसमें बहुत ज्यादा conduction of water का जरूरत नहीं होता था to much height. Okay, vessel elements बाद में बने, तो tracheids already present थे. Vessel elements formed later on. So tracheids and vessels both are present in angiosperms. Vessel एक्चुअली ओरिजिनेट हुए हैं इन एडवांस जिम्नोस्पर्म. सो जिम्नोस्पर्म में भी वेसल एब्सेंट होते हैं. ओनली सम एडवांस जिम्नोस्पर्म्स जिनके बाद एंजियोस्पर्म्स इवॉल्व हो गए थे, उनमें ही वेसल एलिमेंट्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. अदरवाइज टेरिडोफाइट्स में सिर्फ ट्रैकीड्स एलिमेंट्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं एंड जिम्नोस्पर्म्स में. Bryophyta, algae, they don't have any conducting tissue. All their cells are specialized to perform water conduction. Okay. So gymnosperm, only in angiosperm the tracheids and vessels, both the conducting tissue are present. तो पहले ट्रैकीड्स ऑलरेडी आ गया था, इवॉल्व हो गया था प्लांट्स में, एंड देन वेसल उसमें ऐड हो गया. दैट इज व्हाई टू टाइप्स ऑफ कंडक्टिंग टिश्यूज आर प्रेजेंट. So this was a brief idea about xylem. Let us talk about phloem. So phloem is a food conducting tissue. It is a food conducting tissue, and it is also a complex permanent tissue, which is going to have 4 types of cells again. In this case, the two main types of cells that are going to perform the conduction of food are sieve tubes and companion cells. And other two are again phloem parenchyma and phloem sclerenchyma, just like xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. The parenchyma is going to be living and going to store the food in it, and sclerenchyma is going to be dead, and it is going to provide strength to the plant. So the two cells that makes a difference are sieve tubes and companion cells. Sieve tubes are the living tissues. They are this one is the living one, but it lack nucleus and is termed as enucleated. Enucleated when the nucleus is absent. So if the nucleus is absent, how you are going to say that this particular tissue is living in nature, not dead? Very good, Ronit. Good. Rana, correct. So tell me. Yes, everybody must know this point. Even without a nucleus, this particular sieve tube cell, they are considered to be living. Why? Yes, because they are paired with companion cell. Their functions are paired with companion cell. Companion cells that are present just adjacent to this sieve tube, they are going to regulate all the function of this sieve tube. Actually, what happens? This is the mother cell of sieve tube cell and companion cell. Okay, and it divides. Let's say this is the nucleus, and it divides somewhat like this. Like this. So this cell becomes a sieve tube and this cell becomes a companion cell. One gets the nucleus and other one don't get the nucleus. Okay, so nucleus, it remains absent in the case of sieve tube, but since it is a sister cell of companion cell, the companion cell nucleus, it is going to regulate all the function of the sieve tube. So the mother cell is same for both the sieve tube and companion cell. That is why these two cells are also known as sister cells. These two cells are also known as sister cells, and hence the name companion cell given to the other cell. Okay. Yes, the nucleus is eliminated to increase the efficiency of food transport through the sieve tube. The sieve tube is a main hollow structure that is going to perform the function of food conduction. But we are talking about plant cell right now, not animal cells. वहां पर the origin is completely different. Yes, companion cells can regulate their function also, as well as the function of the adjacent cell, that is sieve tube cell. बच्चा एनिमल सेल्स में जहां पे भी माइटोसिस हो रहा होगा, दे आर नोन एज डॉटर सेल्स, राइट, और सिस्टर सेल्स आपस में, बिकॉज माइटोसिस में एक सेल्स के थ्रू दो सेल्स डिवाइड होते हैं, सो दैट इज डॉटर सेल, बिकॉज दे हैव ओरिजिनेटेड फ्रॉम द सिंगल सेल ओनली. Okay, so sieve tube, they lack nucleus and they have perforated plate at the end of the of their wall. तो sieve tube के एक particular sieve cell की अगर मैं बात करूं, cell in a sieve tube is known as sieve tube element or a sieve cell. Okay, so yes, just like a sieve, a perforated plate is present at the end wall of this sieve tube that helps in the transportation of food from one sieve tube element to the other. And companion cells are actually the narrow elongated cells. They are present just adjacent to this sieve tube element, and they are going to control all the activities of this sieve tube element. Yes, the food goes through the lumen only. But the cytoplasm is there, but it remains in the corner only, and it remains in very low quantity. बच्चा सीव का पर्पस है, सीव में क्या है, परफोरेशंस प्रेजेंट है, तो व्हाट विल बी द पर्पस ऑफ सीव? It will serve the purpose of conduction. It will allow the movement of food from one sieve tube to other. No, companion cells के पास बच्चा as such ल्यूमेन टाइप का कुछ नहीं होता है, because वो generally जो food होता है it gets mixed and it gets transported. अभी मैं आपको फूड कंडक्शन जब बताऊंगी देन यू विल बी एबल टू रिकलेक्ट एक्चुअली क्या होता है कंपेनियन सेल में. ओके, सो फूड कंडक्शन का हम बात करेंगे, देन वी विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. स्लाइम इज प्रेजेंट टू प्लग सम पोर्स. सो स्लाइम अगर कहीं प्रेजेंट होता है तो इट प्लग्स द पोर्स. समटाइम्स व्हेन देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ फूड to get transported in some particular cells, then in that case some mucus plugs are present or slime plugs are present. But just food के केस में you have to do some filtration. Okay, so sieve pores का structure ऐसा होता है that it helps in the translocation of particular food that is needed to be translocated. The sucrose, the food conduction that takes place in the case of plant, it is mainly of sucrose. The food that is transported, it is in the form of sucrose. Okay, so the next two cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem sclerenchyma, they are same. Yes, sucrose is a form of glucose only. It is not filtered out, Mohak. It passes from one cell to another. The sucrose only. So the pores, they are going to filter that sucrose only, and it allow the movement of that particular part. But the glucose is very, it is highly reactive. तो ग्लूकोज के फॉर्म में फूड ट्रांसलोकेट नहीं हो सकता. So glucose has to get the glucose part, it has to get converted into sucrose form. Mohak, the cells, they filter out other things and allow the movement of the sucrose. Yes, glucose is monosaccharide. Sucrose is disaccharide. Yes. Okay. So this was a brief idea about the translocation of food through phloem and the transportation of water and mineral through xylem tissue and the phloem tissue. Yes, among these four parts, bacha, the sieve tube, companion cell, and the xylem parenchyma, these are living. Only the sclerenchymatous tissue is dead. So phloem sclerenchyma, it is dead. Other three are living in nature. Now let us talk about the pathway of water within the root. The pathway of water within the root. When I talk about pathway of water within the root, I'm talking about the horizontal movement of the water in the root. Means water absorb hoga through root hairs and the xylem is present in the central part of the root. Right? So अभी root hair से central strand of xylem वहां तक उसको पहुंचना है. Vascular bundles कहाँ present होते हैं? Mainly in the central region. Right? So the movement of water from the root hair till the xylem is what I'm talking about in this slide. The pathway of water within the root only. So it can happen in two ways, the apoplastic pathway or in the Simplast pathway. No, do not draw this one. You can draw this particular thing. ये वाला draw कर लेना. Let us first understand what is apoplastic pathway and Simplastic pathway. Okay. Now बच्चा apoplastic pathway में what is happening? बता सकते हो image को देख के, if you can compare the apoplastic pathway and the Simplastic pathway. Can anyone tell me? Yes, in the case of apoplastic pathway, as you can see in the image as well, the water, it is moving from outside of the cell, only through the outer region of the cell. It will include cell wall also because it is a dead membrane. But in the case of Simplastic pathway, the water is going to cross the cells as well. So water is going to enter the cell and then this water will show cell to cell movement. So in the case of Simplastic pathway, there will be cell to cell conduction of water. While in the case of apoplastic pathway, the water is going to move from the outer region of the cell, that is through the extracellular region of a particular cell, or you can say through the intercellular spaces that are present in between the cell. Okay, so apoplastic pathway के case में there will be no involvement of any cell membrane, but in the case of symplastic pathway there will be the involvement of a plasma membrane or the cell membrane, because the conduction of water is going to be cell to cell. So these are the two pathways that water follows when the water is going to enter the root. So the very first part that absorbs the water from the soil is the root hair. Okay, so this is the root hair. The water is going to get absorbed through the root hair. Then the second part that the water has to cross is the epidermis part. Epidermis is the outermost region of the plant. So root के case में भी outermost layer will be epidermis. In the case of root, it is also known as epiblemma. The epidermis, it is also known as epiblemma. In the case of roots only, the epidermis is also known as epiblemma. So after the root hair, if you will be asked about the conduction of water or the pathway that is taken by water in the root itself, is it will start from root hair, then it will lead to epidermis or the epiblemma, then it will move to the cortical part, that is known as cortex. All the tissues that are present inner side of the epidermis but outer side of the endodermis. Okay, so the cells that are present in between the epidermis and the endodermis are known as cortical cells. So after epidermis, the water is going to cross this cortical cell, and then the endodermal layer will come, and just after the endodermis, a single layer of cell is going to come, that is known as pericycle. That is known as pericycle. And after the pericycle, the water will enter the xylem tissue. So कौन-कौन से layers cross करने हैं? It will start from root hair. It will enter the epidermis or the epiblemma. Then it will enter into the cortical region, the cortex part. Then it will cross the endodermis, pericycle, and finally it is going to enter the xylem. Is this because difference of concentration of ions between roots and soil? The water absorption and mineral absorption both are going to absorb by the difference in concentration only, because of osmosis. Okay, because of osmosis. Yes, I'm going to talk about Casparian thrips, bacha. Wait. Now, if I take you to the another diagram, this one has the most clear picture. So you can say the blue one is apoplastic pathway and the orange one is symplastic pathway. Why two different pathway? But when water enters into the cell, the water doesn't know कि मुझे किस path के through आगे जाना है. Okay? तो जहाँ cell membrane उसे मिल जाएगा, वहाँ वो उसे क्या करना पड़ेगा? Diffusion, osmosis perform करना पड़ेगा, and cell to cell conduction perform करना होगा. जहाँ उसे cell membrane नहीं मिलेगा, वो freely move कर सकता है, because there is not going to be any hindrance in the pathway of water. Water को तो नहीं पता ना. For our knowledge, for our particular knowledge, we have divided these two pathway into two different names. The pathway of the water that is taken by the pathway that is taken by the water in the roots, we have divided it into two parts. Now plant को पता है that water इधर से भी आ रहा है from outer region of the cell and from the inner region of the cell. सो बच्चा जब वो सेल टू सेल कंडक्शन वाटर का हो रहा है तब वहां पे बहुत सारी चीजें फिल्टर आउट हो जाएंगी, बिकॉज सेल मेम्ब्रेन इज प्रेजेंट एंड इट इज अ सेलेक्टिवली परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन। तो वो हर चीज को अलाउ नहीं करेगा टू मूव फ्रॉम सेल टू सेल। बट जो वाटर एपोप्लास्टिक पाथवे के थ्रू आ रहा है उस वाटर में फिल्ट्रेशन नहीं हुआ है, राइट? सो when this water reaches the endodermal part, this endodermal part has Casparian strips present in it. This endodermal layer, it has Casparian strips present in it. Casparian strips are made up of suberin and lignin. सुबरिन एंड लिग्निन का फंक्शन है वाटर को रोकना, हाइड्रोफोबिक मटेरियल है ये वाटर का कंडक्शन फर्दर अपने थ्रू पास नहीं होने देते हैं। ओके, so Casparian strips are present in the endodermal region of the plant and यहाँ पे आके एंडोडर्मिस में जैसे ही एपोप्लास्टिक पाथवे वाला वाटर पहुंचेगा it will have to take the pathway of Symplas, फिर उसे एंडोडर्मल सेल में एंटर करना पड़ेगा। ओके, सो apoplastic pathway is become the apoplastic pathway of water, it becomes symplastic when it reaches the endodermal layer, so that the filtration of water can be performed efficiently. And then again this water is going to cross the pericycle, and after the pericycle it will reaches the xylem tissue. So Casparian strips, they are present in the endodermal region. And what will be the significance of these Casparian strips? एपोप्लास्टिक पाथवे में बच्चा सिर्फ सेल वॉल के थ्रू या फिर इंटरसेलुलर स्पेसेस के थ्रू ही जा रहा है ना, तो whatever has been mixed in the water वो एंटर कर लेगा. It will be free diffusion. There is no osmosis that is being performed. Yes, the Casparian strips, they force the apoplastic water to pass through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay? And what are Casparian strips made up of? They are made of suberin and lignin. Please note it down. Suberin and lignin. Yes, hydrophobic material है, water को अपने through cross नहीं होने देगा. Okay? And what are these plasmodesmata? Can anyone tell me plasmodesmata का function क्या होता है plant में? Intercellular connection है. Yes, these are the connections that are present in the cells for movement, intercellular movement के लिए, right? For transportation. Casparian cells नहीं है वैष्णवी, these are strips. Okay, so Casparian strips, they are present and they force the water, the apoplastic water, to take the pathway of Symplast. So when the water it enters into the root, पहले तो पूछ सकते हैं कौन कौन सा पाथवे क्रॉस करते हैं. आईसीएससी में इट इज देयर, सीबीएसई में आई थिंक ये नहीं है लाइफ प्रोसेस चैप्टर में, बट आईसीएससी स्टूडेंट्स ये है उनके चैप्टर में, इट इज देयर कि कौन कौन से सेल्स उन्हें क्रॉस करने होते हैं. सो रूट हेयर, देन आफ्टर रूट हेयर एपिडर्मिस, then cortical cell, endodermis, pericycle, and after pericycle it is going to reach xylem. And the pathway can be of two types, the apoplastic pathway and the symplastic pathway. Okay, now let us start with the transportation of water in the xylem. When it ultimately reaches to the xylem part, अभी horizontal movement खत्म हो गया. Now the water has to go upward, in the upward direction. So उस upward direction के लिए बहुत सारी theories दी हैं. The most accepted theory is this one, ascent of sap, transpirational pull theory. But 2-3 other theories are also there. Actually बहुत सारी theories हैं, but आपके syllabus में there are 3-4 theories जो आपको बतानी है, that can be asked. So very first one is root pressure theory. The very first one is root pressure theory. It was proposed by Priestley. And root pressure theory works efficiently in the case of lower plants only, not in the higher plants. Higher plants में क्या होता है? They are much heighted plants. तो उस केस में सिर्फ root pressure के through conduction of water is not possible throughout the length of the plant. Okay, so root pressure theory, it is applicable to the lower plants only, like herbs, shrubs, जो much जिनके पास ज्यादा height नहीं है, उनके this theory is applicable to these plants. Now what happens? अब देखो, इसको imagine करो, if you are, let's say you are in a crowded room. The room is very much crowded. There are a lot of people inside the room. And there are 2 doors that are present in the room. One is at the front side and one is at the back side. Okay. So back side say you are allowing the movement of or the entry of the people again and again. The people, they are entering through from the back side of the door. And the room is now very much crowded. So ultimately क्या होगा? धक्का लगेगा. You will experience pushing force. Yes, you will experience the force. और धक्का लगते लगते क्या होगा? आगे साइड वाले डोर से the people, they will start leaving the room. यही होगा ना? Ultimately बाहर से पीछे से भीड़ आ रही है, continuously the people are entering. तो front door से you will start moving outside. Okay, so this is what is root pressure theory. इसमें क्या बोलते हैं? Let's say इसको imagine करो, root pressure कब increase होता है? When there is no transpiration और very low transpiration. वो तब होगा जब ह्यूमिडिटी ऑलरेडी बहुत ज्यादा होगी एनवायरनमेंट में, या फिर रात के टाइम पे, क्योंकि रात के टाइम पे देयर इज नो सन, तो देयर विल बी नो ट्रांसपिरेशनल लॉस ऑफ वाटर. ठीक है, तो अभी वाटर लॉस तो हो नहीं रहा है ऊपर से, बट रूट्स विल कंटिन्यूअसली गेट द रूट्स, दे विल कंटिन्यूअसली एब्जॉर्ब द वाटर फ्रॉम द सॉइल. सो अंदर प्लांट के अंदर देयर विल बी अ क्राउडेड, there will be a crowd like scene. Water molecules का crowd हो जाएगा, right? बहुत सारा water store हो जाएगा in the plant. So in that case, the root will experience a push force inside it. So let's say if I draw it, ऐसे root है, and these are the root hairs. Okay, so water has entered. Let's say एक water molecule यहाँ से enter हुआ. अब ऊपर से there is no water loss. ऊपर से कोई water loss नहीं हो रहा है. तो जो भी water molecule enter होंगे, they will start accumulating here. Accumulate होना start हो जाएंगे, right? Accumulate होते होते बच्चा जैसे ही वो xylem के पास यहाँ बीच में पहुंचेंगे, at this point, they will experience a push force. और वो push force की वजह से, due to the reason of this push force, this water molecule, they will start going into the upward direction. So जो small heighted plant होंगे उसमें this root pressure theory can be applicable. The plant, they will experience this push force, and the water can be transported to the upper part of the plant as well. Herbs में, shrubs में तो बहुत छोटे छोटे plants हैं, mainly in the herbs or grasses. Okay, बट अगर बहुत हाइटेड प्लांट होगा तो दिस रूट प्रेशर थ्योरी इट विल नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल, बिकॉज बहुत ज्यादा हाइट तक पुश करके नहीं ले जा सकते। अल्टीमेटली क्या होगा, पुश करते करते, बिकॉज इट इज अ वेरी स्लो प्रोसेस, तो पुश करते करते डे टाइम हो जाएगा, डे टाइम में फिर अगेन ट्रांसपिरेशनल लॉस स्टार्ट हो जाएगा। सो जो फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करना था रूट को, वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं हो पाएगा, राइट? ओके, सो रूट प्रेशर इट इज एप्लीकेबल टू लोअर हाइटेड प्लांट, जो लोअर प्लांट्स हैं, लेस हाइटेड प्लांट्स हैं, उनमें एप्लीकेबल है, लेस हाइटेड प्लांट्स में। So I have written here, let read it. Water is absorbed by the root hairs and gets collected in the cortical region. So the cortical cell, they become fully turgid and they exert pressure on their on their fluid content and force the water to move towards the xylem vessel. That is how the water moves from cell to cell when there is root pressure. तो एक सेल से दूसरे सेल में जैसे ही वाटर ने मूव किया बच्चा, लेट्स से ये सेल था, ये सेल था, तो जैसे यहां से इट बिकम्स टर्जिड, यहाँ पे वाटर फिल हो गया, दिस सेल विल बिकम टर्जिड। जैसे इस पे एक्सर्ट और प्रेशर लगता रहेगा, बिकॉज वाटर इज गोइंग टू एंटर कॉन्टिन्यूसली। सो जैसे ये एक्सर्ट करेगा प्रेशर, द वाटर मॉलिक्यूल विल एंटर इनटू द नेक्स्ट सेल। Because there is no regulation, Surya. Nothing is there to regulate. And effect of root pressure is also observable at night and early morning when evaporation is low, that is transpirational loss is low, and excess of water gets collected in the form of droplets on the special openings of veins near the tips of grass blades or in the case of herbaceous plants. Such water loss in its liquid phase is known as guttation. कभी आपने देखा है पार्क में गए हो ग्रासेस के ऊपर, वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स होंगी मार्जिन पे. Don't get it get confused between the dew and the guttation. Dew drops are different. Dew drops are because of condensation in the environment. Okay, वो लीफ पे आपको बीच बीच में भी मिलेंगी. But these drops, due to the guttation or due to the root pressure, these drops are found only on the margin of the leaf. तो लीव्स के मार्जिन पे मिलेंगे. ओके, तो क्या होगा, सम केस में, सम प्लांट्स में उनके लीव्स पे स्पेशल ओपनिंग्स प्रेजेंट होती हैं ऑन द मार्जिन ऑफ देयर लीव्स. दीस ओपनिंग्स आर नोन एज hydrothodes. Yes, the openings are present only on the margin and these openings are known as hydrothodes. So such water loss because of accumulation of water within the plant and stomata के through water loss नहीं होगा because transpirational rate is very low at that particular time. So in that case, the water loss, this phenomena is known as guttation, which takes place through special opening known as hydrothodes. So can you compare transpirational loss and guttation water loss? बच्चा ट्रांसपिरेशन केस में जो वाटर लॉस होगा, इट विल बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वेपर्स. गटेशन इज द लॉस ऑफ वाटर in the liquid form from the special openings on the margin of the leaves that are known as hydrothodes because of the development of root pressure inside the plant. Again, I am repeating, it is the water loss, the guttation, it is the water loss in the liquid form that takes place through special openings that are present on the margin of the leaves known as hydrothodes. In the case where root pressure is developed in the plant. Okay, So if you compare the water loss through transpiration and water loss through guttation, in the case of transpiration, yes, the transpiration loss, the water loss, it will be in the form of vapor in the case of transpiration. But in the case of guttation, the water is in the water loss, it will be in the form of liquid. The second difference will be वहां पर स्टोमाटा के थ्रू लॉस होगा, स्टोमेटल ओपनिंग के थ्रू. यहाँ पर the openings are known as hydrothores. The openings are known as hydrothores and it doesn't have any guard cell in it. कोई guard cell नहीं है, बस pores present है. Only pores are present, known as hydrothores. Okay. The third and most important difference इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आता है. बच्चा, if I ask you, जो वाटर लॉस हो रहा है गटेशन के थ्रू एंड जो वाटर लॉस हो रहा है ट्रांसपिरेशन के थ्रू, इन विच among these two, which form will be the pure form of water? Which will be the pure form of water जिसमें सिर्फ वाटर प्रेजेंट होगा और कुछ मिक्सिंग नहीं होगा? Yes, transpiration it will be, because transpiration में the water is getting evaporated because vapors are present. Yes, correct. Gutations में there will be ions that are mixed in water, there will be salts that are mixed in water. Okay. So pure loss of water will be through the transpirational loss. More amount of water will be in the form of guttation, क्योंकि वहां पे कुछ रेगुलेट करने के लिए नहीं है. वहां पे सन का रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, evaporation में कन्वर्ट नहीं होना है, बट इट विल अगेन डिपेंड ऑन द एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन एज वेल. सॉइल में कितना वाटर है, एनवायरमेंट में कितना ह्यूमिडिटी है. तो ट्रांसपिरेशन एंड गटेशन को आप एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन के बेसिस पे ही कंपेयर कर सकते हो इफ यू आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट which will have more water loss. Okay. So this part is clear, everyone. The root pressure theory, it was given by Priestley. Yes, श्रवण, प्लांट्स के अंदर वीन्स होती है ना, आपने देखी नहीं लीव्स पे वीन का नेटवर्क होता है. जैसे बनाना के लीव्स में पैरेलल वीन्स प्रेजेंट होती हैं. बट मतलब मोनोकॉट्स एंड डाइकॉट्स को आप कर सकते हो कंपेयर. मोनोकॉट्स के केस में द वेनेशन इज पैरेलल वेनेशन and in the case of dicot it is reticulate venation. Network of veins are present. Okay. तो यहाँ पे जो veins present है, ये लीफ में भी आपको दिख रहा होगा. These are veins here. Grass blades simply mean lamina. This is the blade of the leaf. The lamina part of the leaf is blade. बच्चा, ग्रास में दोनों तरह से हो सकता है. कभी कभी ड्यू के थ्रू भी हो सकता है. तो अगर बीच बीच में ग्रासेस पे वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स होंगी तो वो इट कैन बी द केस ऑफ ड्यू एज वेल. कंडेंसेशन ऑफ वाटर होता है एनवायरमेंट में, बट मार्जिन पे अगर प्रेजेंट होगा तो हाँ, दैट विल बी द पर्टिकुलर केस ऑफ गटेशन. ओके. एग्जाम्पल्स नोट करने हैं तो कर लो. स्ट्रॉबेरीज में गटेशन बहुत अच्छे से, स्ट्रॉबेरी प्लांट में गटेशन कैन बी ऑब्जर्व वेरी क्लियरली. स्ट्रॉबेरीज में, टोमेटोज में, even in the case of wheat also. So grasses, wheat, strawberries, tomatoes. स्ट्रॉबेरीज में तो बहुत अच्छे से दिखता है, वेरी क्लियरली इट इज विजिबल. दिन में भी हो सकता है, अगर ह्यूमिडिटी बहुत होगी और ट्रांसपिरेशन लॉस नहीं होगा तो उस टाइम में डे टाइम में भी हो सकता है गटेशन. इट इज पॉसिबल इन डे टाइम एज वेल, बट द ह्यूमिडिटी हैज टू बी वेरी हाई इन द एनवायरमेंट और क्लाउडी एनवायरमेंट होना चाहिए क्योंकि ट्रांसपिरेशन लॉस को कम करना है. बिकॉज हाइड्रोट्स आर प्रेजेंट, श्रवण, वहां पे हाइड्रोट्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. कुछ प्लांट्स में ही होते हैं, हर प्लांट में हाइड्रोट्स आर नॉट प्रेजेंट. ट्रांसपिरेशन एंड गटेशन अकर एट द सेम टाइम नहीं हो सकता बच्चा. अगर ट्रांसपिरेशनल लॉस होगा तो वाटर एक्यूमुलेट ही नहीं होगा प्लांट में. Okay, so this was a brief idea about root pressure theory. Now another theory is about capillary force theory. Capillary force theory. So capillary force theory के according to this theory, the vessel and trachees, they act as capillaries and the ascent of sap takes place due to capillary force. Now capillary force is also applicable to less heighted plants. बहुत ज्यादा heighted plants में नहीं होगा. ओके, सो कैपिलरी फोर्स, कभी कैपिलरी यूज करी है केमिस्ट्री लैब में या फिर बायो लैब में? हैव यू एवर यूज्ड इट, द कैपिलरीज? यस, नैरो पाइप लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. यस, एसेंट ऑफ सैप का मतलब है बच्चा जो भी लिक्विड प्रेजेंट होता है प्लांट में, whatever fluid part is present or the liquid part, it is considered as sap. It is known as sap within the plant. Okay, ascent of sap means movement of this sap. So capillaries क्या होते हैं बच्चा? There is a narrow pipe like structure. बहुत ही narrow, बहुत needle like tubes होती हैं, needle like thin tubes होती हैं. Okay, so उसमें क्या होता है, इतना अगर narrow thin tube होता है ना, जैसे ही आप उसको liquid के पास रखते हो, because within that particular capillary tube it is vacuum, it is all empty, nothing is present. So जैसे ही आप उसको किसी liquid के पास रखोगे, by the action of diffusion the water will get inside the capillary tube. Okay, so ये हम अलग अलग एक्सपेरिमेंट में यूज करते हैं. यहाँ पे भी हमने लिक्विड को पोर करना होता है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे, और बहुत स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ लिक्विड पोर करना होता है. उस केस में अमीनो एसिड्स को कभी सेग्रीगेट किया है? वो वाला एक्सपेरिमेंट परफॉर्म किया है किसी ने, अमीनो एसिड को सेग्रीगेट करना? Piyush, ascent of sap means the movement of water. The sap is a liquid thing that is present inside the plant, and ascent is movement. So ascent of sap is movement of water or movement of fluid that is present inside the plant. Okay, so capillary tubes क्या होती हैं? These are narrow fine glass tubes. अभी स्कूल अगर ओपन जब भी होते हैं तब केमिस्ट्री लैब में जाकर देखना, मैम से पूछना, मैम एक बार कैपिलरी ट्यूब कैन यू प्लीज शो मी कैपिलरी ट्यूब, तो आई एम श्योर दिखा देंगे, मना नहीं करेंगे. जिसने नहीं देखा उनके लिए. ओके, सो कैपिलरी ट्यूब्स आर द फाइन ट्यूब्स, ग्लास ट्यूब्स होती हैं. उनको जैसे ही आप लिक्विड के पास रखोगे, द लिक्विड एंटर्स इनसाइड इट बिकॉज ऑफ एक्शन ऑफ डिफ्यूजन. तो दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस इन द प्लांट्स एज वेल. अब बच्चा रूट प्रेशर अगर लगा, दिस इज द रूट हेयर है, वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स यहाँ से एंटर किया, रूट प्रेशर लगते लगते यहाँ तक जाइलम तक पहुंच गया, राइट, एंड थोड़ा सा हाइट गेन किया रूट प्रेशर की वजह से। कैपिलरी थ्योरी हमें क्या बोलती है? बिकॉज देयर इज वैक्यूम हियर at the upper region in the root, and because of root pressure the water is getting accumulated inside the root here. So by the action of diffusion this water will further move, this water they will further move from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. This is what is capillary force theory. तो कैपिलरी फोर्स में क्या हो रहा है? एक वो बोल रहे हैं द ट्रैकीड्स एंड वेसल्स दैट आर प्रेजेंट इन द जाइलम दे एक्ट्स लाइक कैपिलरी ट्यूब, दे एक्ट्स लाइक कैपिलरी ट्यूब बिकॉज वो भी हॉलो स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, so they acts like capillary tube as in vacuum. Yes, the capillary tube hollow structure होते हैं, उनके अंदर वैक्यूम है, उनके अंदर कुछ भी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, एम्प्टी स्ट्रक्चर है. ओके, so the tracheids and vessel of the xylem they also acts like capillary tube because of hollow structure, because of their hollow structure, and by the action of diffusion the water can move from higher concentration to lower concentration. So that is how the water move from higher concentration to lower concentration within the xylem and tracheids element. This is what is capillary theory. Mainly काम diffusion का ही है. Okay, understood everyone? Yes, again applicable to low heighted plants. बहुत ज्यादा heighted plants में capillary force again act नहीं कर पाएगा. Okay, now the main theory that is applicable to heighted plant as well, that is ascent of sap, given by Dixon and Joly during the year 1894. The year is not important at all, but yes, the theory it was given by Dixon and Joly. So the name of scientist is important. Now, according this theory is applicable to all angiospermic, gymnospermic plants as well. जितने भी heighted plants हैं, उन सब में ये theory is applicable. So according to this theory, three components are involved in the ascent of sap, and these are cohesion, adhesion, and transpirational pull. Cohesion, adhesion, and transpirational pull. So, bacha, what is happening? Let's say this is the root. This is the root here. Water is getting absorbed through the root here. एक water molecule ऐसे enter हुआ. Okay. अब water molecule जब enter होगा तो it has दो तरह के force water molecules पे लगेंगे. ये water molecule और दूसरा उसके पीछे पीछे enter करेगा. By the process of osmosis, the root is absorbing these water molecules, right? So two types of two types of attractive force act here. The very first one is mutual attraction between the water molecule, that is cohesion, the force of cohesion. No, imbibition and adhesion is different. Imbibition is the first step for absorbing something. So जब कुछ absorb हो रहा है और सिर्फ surface attraction है. Imbibition क्या होता है बच्चा? Let's say ये cell है और सेल ने कुछ एब्जॉर्ब करना स्टार्ट हुआ तो the very first step is what? Surface attraction. तो जब सिर्फ surface attraction हुआ है, this is what is imbibition. And when water gets inside, when the particular thing it gets inside the cell, it is absorption. ओके तो बच्चा वाटर मॉलिक्यूल जैसे रूट के अंदर एंटर करते हैं, उन वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में, इन बिटवीन दोज वाटर मॉलिक्यूल, देयर गोइंग टू बी अ फोर्स दैट एक्ट्स, दैट इज अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स ऑफ कोहेशन. attractive force of cohesion. एंड आसपास वॉल लेयर्स होंगी जाइलम एलिमेंट्स की. ट्रैकिड्स या वेसल में वाटर एंटर करेगा तो आसपास क्या होगा, वॉल्स होंगी. तो जाइलम और वॉल के बीच में अगर जो फोर्स लग रहा है, सॉरी वाटर मॉलिक्यूल एंड जाइलम वॉल के बीच में जो फोर्स लग रहा है, इट विल बी द फोर्स ऑफ अधेशन. तो इन दोनों के बीच में जो फोर्स है, इट इज अधेशन. तो वाटर एंटर किया, तो वाटर विल अट्रैक्ट ऑल द वाटर मॉलिक्यूल. तो सब वाटर मॉलिक्यूल उस फर्स्ट वाटर मॉलिक्यूल के पीछे पीछे आना स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे, राइट. एंड दिस वाटर मॉलिक्यूल विल आल्सो गेट अट्रैक्टेड टू दिस वॉल. तो ये वाटर मॉलिक्यूल इस वॉल से भी अट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा, प्लस वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में भी फोर्स लग रहा है. सो these water molecules, they all will form chains. This all will form chains. And the next force that is going to act, the third one, that is the transpirational pull force. It is the one that will pull all these water molecules to the upper heights. Yes, it is necessary to have a continuous water column. Otherwise, बीच में water column break हो सकता है, but फिर time लगेगा water conduction में. Okay. So the third force that is going to act is transpirational pull. Because of the transpirational loss of water from the upper parts of the plant, there will be a tension that is being created within the plant. A tension that develops in xylem due to the rapid transpiration in leaves. This creates a transpirational pull, which is responsible for the pulling of water column in the xylem. तो ऊपर से कॉन्टिन्यूस वाटर लॉस हो रहा है, तो ऊपर क्या हो जाएगा, एक वैक्यूम क्रिएट हो जाएगा, एंड दैट विल क्रिएट अ सक्शन फोर्स विद इन द xylem tracheids and xylem vessel. That suction force will pull all the water molecule to the upper part of the plant, and in that pulling, this cohesion and adhesion work, this cohesion and adhesion forces will work in order to pull all the water molecule together so as to form a column of water in the xylem. Okay, so this is what is ascent of sap, and this transpirational pull theory or the ascent of sap theory, it works finely in the case of heighted plants as well. So all the angiospermic plants जो बहुत height के plant होते हैं, also in the case of gymnosperms there are plant and trees that are much more heighted. उन सब cases में this theory is applicable. Is it clear everyone? Yes, surface phenomena होगा बच्चा, but वो imbibation वाला case कब होगा? When the water is getting absorbed by the roots. So osmosis से पहले सबसे पहले first step will be imbibition. Imbibition के through the water molecules are attracted on the root hairs. So that will be the first step. And then ultimately the water will enter through the process of osmosis. No adhesion क्यों obstruct करेगा बच्चा? Walls के साथ stick होके they will get pulled to the upper part. तो ऐसे बोल सकते हो वॉल्स का सहारा लेके वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स ऊपर बढ़ रहे हैं. Okay. So this adhesion and cohesion force both work with the transpirational pull force, and ultimately the water will be transported to higher parts of the plant. Is this theory Understood everyone? Understood by everyone? Yes, cohesion and adhesion. डाउन फ्लो तो बच्चा होगा ही नहीं. डाउन फ्लो क्यों होगा? जब ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल फोर्स लग रहा है एंड इट इज क्रिएटिंग दैट मच सक्शन फोर्स विद इन द प्लांट, तो by the action of diffusion also the water will move from lower concentration to higher concentration, right? और also क्यों ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल इतना ज्यादा लगेगा? बिकॉज अपर पार्ट से कॉन्टिन्यूस लॉस ऑफ वाटर हो रहा है एंड रूट इज एब्सॉर्बिंग वाटर फ्रॉम द लोअर पार्ट कॉन्टिन्यूसली. तो नीचे के पार्ट में पानी ऑलरेडी बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, ऊपर नहीं है, तो ऑलरेडी एक ट्रांसपिरेशनल पुल क्रिएट हो जाएगा अगेन डिफ्यूजन के थ्रू ही. ओके yes Dhruv, you can say that, but सिर्फ surface attraction involved नहीं है, there is attraction between water molecules as well. So cohesion and adhesion दोनों force act करेंगे. Okay, अब इस इमेज को देखो. Is it clear? बच्चा रूट्स के अंदर अगर मिनरल सॉल्ट ज्यादा हैं, इवन देन दे आर गोइंग टू absorb the minerals, पीयूष, बट दैट विल बी द एक्टिव फोर्स. ऑस्मोसिस इज पैसिव फोर्स. अगर प्लांट के अंदर उतना वाटर नहीं है और उसे वाटर एब्जॉर्ब करना है तो पैसिवली इट विल एब्जॉर्ब. बट मिनरल्स ऑलरेडी प्लांट के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, बट स्टिल उसको मिनरल का रिक्वायरमेंट है एंड आसपास रूट्स में उतना मिनरल नहीं है, the concentration is low, but again even though the root will going to absorb the mineral by the active process, so water and mineral absorption में passive process भी involved है as well as active process is also involved. बच्चा कैपिलरी फोर्स कुछ हाइट तक एप्लीकेबल है, उसके बाद अगर वाटर को मूव करना है तो it will have to take help of transpiration pull only. So in this diagram, as you can see, osmosis is going to push water in the root here. This is the first part. Then the root pressure pushes the water to the stem. उसे stem तक push करेगा till the xylem. Then capillary action will result in the rise up of water at the base of the stem only, up to somewhat some height, and then adhesion and cohesion makes the column of water molecule, and ultimately through the transpirational pull the water is going to get converted to the upper parts of the plant. So you can number it down as well. 1, this will be the 2, this is 3, 4 and 5. Clear everyone? yes theories इनको बोला गया, अभी तक theories ही बोलते हैं, but prove हो चुका है. All these theories are already proved. So clear है how the water is going to get converted within the plants. ऑस्मोसिस से पहले भी एक फोर्स एक्ट करेगा, डेट इज इम्बिबिशन. उसको भी नोट कर लो, यहाँ इस डायग्राम में दिया नहीं है, इट इज नॉट गिवन. इम्बिबिशन, व्हाट इज इम्बिबिशन? जब रूट एब्सॉर्ब करना स्टार्ट करेगा वाटर को, तो द वेरी फर्स्ट अट्रैक्शन ऑफ वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स on the root here is imbibition. Let's say this is the root here. तो वाटर सबसे पहले इसके सरफेस पे अट्रैक्ट होंगे. So this surface attraction of water molecules on the root hair is known as imbibition. And after the imbibition, once the water molecules they have attracted towards the root hairs, then they will cross the plasma membrane and the osmosis will occur. Okay. So imbibition अगर in case कहीं पे पूछ लिया, otherwise अगर आप osmosis से start करोगे अपना answer in the exam, it will be correct. But imbibition अगर कहीं पूछ लिया, so you must know. It is the surface attraction of water molecules on the root hairs. बच्चा सक्शन फोर्स एक्ट करेगा जब ट्रांसपिरेशन होगा. Is it clear? इतना पार्ट क्लियर है. वाटर कंडक्शन. आई थिंक फूड कंडक्शन में अगर अभी स्टार्ट करती हूँ तो खत्म नहीं होगा. We'll discuss that in the next lecture. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you are free to take a break. Bye. Take care. Prepare well for the TWT. Thank you. Have a nice day to you too. Yes, Shravan. I'm the one. Yes, Rana. Correct. बहुत इजी, आराम से कर लोगे. पढ़ लेना बस. सिलेबस आई थिंक श्रवण ऑलरेडी मिल चुका है ना. वेरी नाइस शताक्षी. नो की पॉइंट. सब कुछ अच्छे से पढ़ना. मॉड्यूल को अच्छे से पढ़ना. साइकिल पे भी बेस क्वेश्चंस आएंगे. बहुत ज्यादा मैंने क्वेश्चन साइकिल पे नहीं रखे, बट स्टिल देयर आर क्वेश्चंस. बिकॉज एनटीएससी में पूछते हैं तो आई हैव टू पुट सम क्वेश्चंस. Third point of the diagram is not visible. Is it visible now? यस बच्चा, रेस्पिरेशन का जो प्रोसेस है इट इज सेम इन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स. थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आता है, बट दैट इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड अंडर योर सिलेबस, तो उतना डेप्थ में आपको जाना नहीं है. बट माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया के अंदर ही एटीपी सिंथेसिस हो रहा है, तो इट इज सेम. यस राना, डाइजेशन से भी क्वेश्चन है, रेस्पिरेशन से भी क्वेश्चन है, फोटोसिंथेसिस से भी क्वेश्चन है. फोटोसिंथेसिस और रेस्पिरेशन का एटीपी सिंथेसिस तो डिफरेंट है ना, वहां पे क्लोरोप्लास्ट इन्वॉल्व है, यहाँ पे माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में हो रहा है. बट यस द एंजाइम इज सेम, वहां पे भी कंसंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट के थ्रू होता है, एटीपी सिंथेसिस इज इन्वॉल्व, यहाँ पे भी वही है, बट एक्चुअली द साइट इज डिफरेंट. चलो बाय बाय देन, टेक केयर, आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर देन. श्रवण, एंजाइम्स तो डिफरेंट होंगी बच्चा. एटीपी सिंथेसिस की जो मेन एंजाइम है दैट इज सेम, एटीपी सिंथेज एंजाइम और द FOF1 पार्टिकल, दैट इज सेम. ओके, बाय बाय, टेक केयर.